January 16, 2019 to order. Request that the clerk call the roll.
Mr. Granger?
Here.
Mr. Boswell?
Here.
Mr. Klee?
Here.
Ms. Macbeth?
Here.
Mr. Edwards?
Here.
Mr. Schaller?
Here.
Mr. Rogers?
Here.
The first agenda item is election of officers for 2019. And so I will call for nominations for chairperson for 2019.
Macbeth for chair.
I second.
Right? Macbeth has been nominated. Are there further nominations? Is there a motion that she be elected by acclamation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Granger?
Aye.
Mr. Boswell?
Aye.
Mr. Klee?
Aye.
Ms. Macbeth?
Aye.
Mr. Edwards?
Aye.
Mr. Schaller?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Congratulations for another year of service coming up, and
Thank
it's your show.
Thank you. We need to continue with the election of officers, and I would like to put on the floor that we continue with our current team with Jeffrey Klee as first vice chair, Andrew Edwards as second vice chair, and Heather remaining as our secretary. That is the motion I put on the floor.
Second the motion.
Are there other? Doing this as a group to save us from 4 rounds of ayes. Then Heather, if you'd call the roll, please.
Mr. Granger?
Aye.
Mr. Boswell?
Aye.
Mr. Klee?
Aye.
Ms. Macbeth?
Aye.
Mr. Edwards?
Aye.
Mr. Schaller?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
With the new year, there also are potentials for changes in committee assignments as well as additional committees that are being put in front of us. And I have had a couple of items brought to me today. So until further notice, I would appreciate if everyone would just stay with their current committee assignments, and over the next week or so, I might be needing to talk to people about some changes. Okay, so our next order of business is the approval of minutes. We have minutes from our December 19th meeting. Are there any adjustments to those minutes or to accept them as presented to us?
No changes. I move we accept the minutes as written.
Second.
Heather?
Mr. Granger?
Aye.
Mr. Boswell?
Aye.
Mr. Klee?
Aye.
Ms. Macbeth?
Aye.
Mr. Edwards?
Aye.
Mr. Schaller?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Okay, so we have nothing on our consent agenda. That moves us to our first public hearing, which is perfectly named, PCR 19-1, which is a request by Williamsburg-James City County Schools for a temporary classroom trailer, a second one, at Matthew Whaley.
Good afternoon. Williamsburg-James City County Public Schools is requesting the approval of the placement of a second classroom trailer containing 2 additional classrooms at Matthew Whaley Elementary School, 301 Scotland Street, through July of 2022. The application states that the current enrollment at the school is 541 students. This is 51 students over the 490 student capacity. They note that beyond the date of July 2022, they will need to review other alternatives. This date also corresponds with the expiration date of the other classroom trailer on the site. This property is located in the downtown planning area of the 2013 Comprehensive Plan. It is designated as public and semi-public, which includes government facilities, churches, public and private schools, fraternal organizations, nursing homes, and cemeteries. The Colonial Williamsburg Historic Area is located to the east, with mixed-use and medium-density single-family to the west. Land to the north is designated as public, semi-public, with land to the south designated as Colonial Williamsburg Historic Area and medium-density single-family. This property is zoned Single-Family Dwelling District RS3. The property to the south is also zoned RS3 and Colonial Williamsburg Historic Area. The land to the east is zoned CW, and the land to the west is zoned Single-Family Dwelling District RS3. Downtown Limited Business District LB1, and the land to the north is zoned Downtown Business District B1. the museum and the museum support district. Single-family dwelling district allows, with a special use permit, public or private elementary, middle, and high schools, colleges, universities, including temporary classroom facilities when accessory to and on the same lot as a school located in a permanent building. The Architectural Review Board reviewed and approved the classroom trailer design at its meeting on December 11, 2018. The Site Plan Review Committee did not meet to review this matter, as it was their consensus this use and the location of the use is suitable for the site. The applicant proposes the installation of the second classroom trailer, identical to the existing trailer, containing 2 classrooms. The proposed second trailer is not adjacent to the existing trailer to provide fire access to the rear of the school. The school is currently 51 students over capacity, making the use of a second classroom trailer necessary. The property is adequately served by essential public services such as streets, drainage facilities, fire protection, and public water and sewer facilities. The proposed project is in harmony with the adopted comprehensive plan and the intent and purpose of the zoning ordinance. The proposed use is in harmony with the character of the adjacent properties and will not result in the destruction, loss, or damage of any feature determined to be of significant ecological, scenic, or historic importance. This project is designed and sited so that it will not hinder or discourage the appropriate development or use of adjacent properties and surrounding neighborhoods. Staff recommends that Planning Commission recommend to City Council that a special use permit be approved to allow a second double-wide classroom trailer for a total of 2 classroom trailers at Matthew Whaley Elementary School, 301 Scotland Street through July 2022. I'm available if you have any questions, and the applicant's representative are also present.
Does anyone have a question for Aaron? Then I'll open up the public hearing if the applicant would like to come forward and present any items and/or potentially answer any questions we might have. I do have a question, so if you mind.
Good afternoon.
Hi, can you state your name so it's in the record?
Sure, I'm Jim Falzone. I'm the facilities director for the schools.
Okay, cool. Great. Thank you for coming. I guess I just had a couple of questions, really one question. I mean, I think that we all recognize that if the school currently is overpopulation, we need some place for the students to be in a healthy and safe and heated environment and all that kind of stuff. So that's really not so much of a concern for me. I just had a question, since we know that the school system is also looking towards potentially building another elementary school and all that with this 2022 deadline, are we actually thinking about potentially removing some of these at that point? Is that part of the discussion?
That is part of the discussion right now. Yeah, right now this mobile classroom is considered to be a temporary fix.
Right.
This particular school is very overpopulated. We've got some others that are pushing their maximum populations, which is why we need to kind of fast track our thinking about the building a new elementary school. That is not off the table yet. That's not even out of the barn yet. So,
sure, understood. I mean, the whole issue of redistricting is a way bigger picture, but we've gotten so, quote unquote, used to there being a trailer there that I would hope that the students that are in the city school might have opportunities that are broader.
That is the plan.
Than just this
that
continuing
is the
resolution of more
trailers. That's a
trailers.
short-term solution for us.
Right. Okay. Are there any other questions? Okay, thank you. Then there is a public hearing. If anyone else would like to come forward and speak on this? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing. Is there any discussion or a motion?
I just think it's worth reiterating the importance of solving this problem across the district. I remember when the first trailer was proposed, when I was on the Architectural Review Board, the timing of the approval was intended to coincide with a redistricting and elimination of the overcrowding at Matthew Whaley. So we're now in a situation where instead of that situation improving, it's gotten worse. So that's a problem of growth, and growth is great, but we need to manage it in a way that the children who go to Matthew Whaley don't have to pay a price for that growth.
Then we have in front of us a staff recommendation to approve the special use permit.
I move that we recommend approval of PCR 19-001.
Second.
Heather?
Mr. Granger?
Aye.
Mr. Boswell?
Aye.
Mr. Klee?
Aye.
Ms. Macbeth?
Aye.
Mr. Edwards?
Aye.
Mr. Schaller?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that moves us to our second public hearing, which is on the capital improvement plan, the 5-year capital improvement plan from fiscal 20 to 24. Carolyn?
I don't have anything additional to report other than in your packet included from the finance director, the status of the current projects, and staff recommends holding the public hearing, and we will have a work session scheduled for the 30th to go over all the projects.
Okay, so if what I'm hearing correctly here is that we will not have a presentation today on like the memorandum in our packet, that we, in 2 weeks' time, this will be reiterated in a couple of minutes. It sounds like maybe in a minute and a half, given the speed of this meeting. We actually have a special meeting on the CIP, at which point you will work ourselves through the memorandum. There'll be an opportunity for public input at that point in time. But we'll hold this public hearing open, because then when we come back in a month's time is when we will sort of continue that and finalize the memo that we send to the city manager.
That's correct.
So unless someone has questions of Carolyn from having gone through the attachments for this hearing item, then we will hold this open. Do we need to table it or have a vote of some kind? Anyone wants to speak, and then we'll go. Okay, so having had no preamble to this, we will open the public hearing. If anyone would like to speak now about the capital improvement plan. I will close the public hearing, and we will defer further action on this until after our work session and our sort of reconvening in February. We need to vote on that, or can we just hold that? Yeah. Vote on. Okay, so if so I've moved the actions of what we'll be taking and deferring this, keeping the public hearing officially open, but deferring any further action. Is there a second?
Second the motion.
And Heather?
Mr. Granger?
Aye.
Mr. Boswell?
Aye.
Mr. Klee?
Aye.
Ms. Macbeth?
Aye.
Mr. Edwards?
Aye.
Mr. Schaller?
Aye.
Mr. Rogers?
Aye.
Okay, that's brings us to our next item, which is an open forum. Sort of one last time, an opportunity to come forward if anyone would like to speak to the Planning Commission on anything that might be coming in front of us. No one? I will close that. We have no other business in front of us right now unless someone has some new business they want to bring to the table. Okay. So then, with regard to our work ahead, even though this has been a very short meeting, we do have the next 2 Wednesdays, we do have work sessions. Next week on Wednesday, January 23rd, we'll be meeting back at this place, talking about the Economic Development Authority's plan. And then in 2 weeks' time, January 30th, is when we will return to the capital improvement program. The public hearing scheduled for February 20th, our agenda says none, but that's sort of erroneous at this point in time because we have just now deferred the capital improvement plan. So we will actually be having a meeting on February 20th, so save that date as well, at which point, beyond anything else that Carolyn brings to our agenda, we will be returning to the capital improvement plan for our memo that goes to the city manager. So with no other business, I will close the meeting. We are adjourned.